A 15-year-old fearlessly taking on a group of OnlyFans models in a live stream, boldly calling their work evil and questioning their morals without a second thought. Matan Evens didn't just stir the pot, he threw in wild statistics and sharp jabs that left the models scrambling to defend themselves. But in the end, did he actually make a point or just fuel a fiery debate? He jumped straight into the heart of it, asking them why they'd chosen to go down this path, creating explicit content for profit.
You're literally 15. What do you know?
Bro, you know how to read?
Yes, I do know how to read.
Name 10 books.
Are you serious?
Yes, 100%.
Here's where things got really interesting and uncomfortable. Matan's tone wasn't just curious, it was outright challenging. He threw around some pretty serious labels, calling their work evil and questioning how they can reconcile it with any kind of moral or religious values. He didn't just stop at calling it evil either. Matan seemed intent on emphasizing that their work clashed with his religious beliefs and went against what he described as God's values. For him, this wasn't just a casual difference of opinion, it was a moral failing, and he said it right to their faces.
What type of content do you make? You do like makeup videos, gaming videos, what type of stuff?
We do only bros.
Only homies.
And what type of videos do you make on that?
Corn.
Corn.
Right.
Yep.
Very evil.
You could tell the models weren't used to being called out like this, especially not by someone so young. Their initial reactions were a mix of frustration and attempts to explain where they were coming from. One of them pushed back, saying that sure, their content might not align with traditional godly values, but they had some good reasons for doing what they do. Some talked about the financial independence it provided and the stability it offered in their lives. One model explained how her earnings were being used to support family back in the Philippines, lifting her loved ones out of poverty and ensuring they had a better future. For her, this work wasn't just about self-interest, it was about survival and doing good for others.
I'm not really in the mood, but I think you guys with a lot of the evil action.
No, hold up. Bro.
Got me.
But Matan wasn't swayed. He held firm, insisting that even if the money was going to a noble cause, the way it was earned made it morally questionable. He argued that you can't just erase the evil of the act just because the outcome might be positive. Crusades. This is where things got really heated. One of the models, visibly frustrated, tried to turn the tables, questioning his own authority to label their work as evil and suggesting that he was making a mockery of their beliefs. They went back and forth like this, with each side trying to one-up the other in a clash of values that was as intense as it was eye-opening.
Give me this. They trying to set us up. They trying to cancel us in some way, shape, or form. I just want everyone to know on this stream, I believe in God. We all believe in God. So don't take this the wrong way when we get set up, because that shit not cool at all.
It was almost surreal to watch. Matan was dead set on his stance, using religious references and even offering them kippas at one point, implying they'd need divine intervention to redeem themselves. Meanwhile, the models tried to defend their work, pointing out the benefits and arguing that they were still good people with good intentions, even if their profession wasn't exactly traditional. One of them made a strong case saying, "I know this work isn't for everyone, but it's a choice I made, and it's helping me make a difference in my family's life." For her, the judgment she faced for her work was nothing compared to the satisfaction of knowing she was helping people she loved.
Just kind of thinking about it, I wasn't very happy. That's why I had to bring out the little keepers for everybody.
Okay,
Well, like, these are my models too, so what does it make me look like saying that you're saying my models are evil?
The models weren't just going to sit there and take it. They pushed back, especially one model who was quick to defend her intentions. She insisted that yes, her line of work might not be conventional, but she was making a real difference with her earnings. She talked about supporting her family, even sending money back home to relatives in poverty. To her, it wasn't about flaunting a lifestyle or defying religion. It was about doing something good with what she'd earned. She tried to make Matan see that there was more to her story than just the job she chose.
I danced for Janet Jackson. I've been on NBC World of Dance. I used to live in LA. I have a lot on my resume. I'm also very educated. I graduated high school a year early. I do real estate. I'm a social media manager.
But Matan wasn't having it. He kept his tone, well, let's just say unforgiving. He argued that good intentions didn't make up for what he saw as morally corrupt actions. "You're still committing acts against God," he said, implying that no amount of charity or family support could justify what he considered sinful behavior. The model wasn't about to let that slide. She challenged him, saying, "How are you in any position to decide what's right and wrong for me? You're 15. She made it clear that she didn't appreciate his judgment, especially from someone who, in her view, couldn't understand the complexity of her choices and life situation. At one point, she even questioned this understanding of religion, saying that he was twisting beliefs to suit his agenda. She argued that her faith allows for free will and personal choice, hinting that Matan's approach was a bit rigid, if not entirely hypocritical. The conversation spiraled as they both dug their heels in, Matan with his unwavering conviction that they were on a doomed path, and the models insisting that they were living their lives in a way that was right for them. Matan took things up a notch with his so-called statistics about the effects of OnlyFans. He claimed that OnlyFans was somehow contributing to homelessness and depression. Now, to most people watching, this might have sounded a bit far-fetched, but Matan rattled his facts with a straight face, even citing reliable sources like Carnegie Mellon University, which, let's be real, he might have mixed up with Coco Melon at some point. But he was serious, saying that OnlyFans has led to major social issues. He argued that these platforms drove users into dark mental states and financial ruin, effectively linking them to bigger societal problems.
Definitely not.
Oh,
Nah, they definitely did pray
no,
before.
no.
Hey, now they had an Asian driver in the car. They was praying they was gonna make it to this.
Yeah, for real.
I'm not gonna lie.
Say that.
I really do not appreciate that you said we didn't pray, because I really do believe in God, and I don't appreciate you getting a little. You denying my faith, so what's good?
Right, I'm not really denying your faith. I'm just saying that, from my definitely educated assumption, I would say that you probably did not pray before this, for any reason that would not be biased. I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter, though.
But I just want to know what led you to believe that.
Because
While some people might have laughed it off, Matan delivered his points with his sarcastic, quick-witted style that gave them a life of their own. At one point, he even described the models and influencers as agents of sin or demons working against a moral society. His dry humor and bold statements created a surreal kind of energy that made you wonder if he really believed it all or if he was in on his own joke. But the models, they weren't laughing. Their reactions were all over the place. Some tried to push back against his statistics, questioning how on earth OnlyFans could be responsible for homelessness or depression. Others just looked at him like he was a kid lost in his own fantasy. There were moments where you could see the frustration building, and a few of the models even tried to call him out for acting as if he was some kind of authority. But Matan held his ground, deadpan as ever, and he kept right on with his facts.
These demons.
You think first
Hey
of all,
man, I'm not a demon.
I'm not a demon.
You think I'm a
not
demon?
demon.
You think I'm the devil?
Well, I mean, like.
Actually,
if
no.
was
I
doing
am a
sex-
succubus.
Huh?
I come from a bouncing background, and I felt demonic doing that type of work, like street fights and degenerate stuff like that, and drinking. Don't you think? I mean, do you guys even believe in demons, or?
Do I believe in demons? I would say I do believe. I would say yeah. I do believe in demons, but I feel like
John,
I've seen people around me do a lot worse, and I'm not.
And then it happened. Matan threw out a challenge that's almost too classic. He asked the models to name 10 books. In the middle of this heated debate, he turned to one of the models and said, "If you're so educated, name 10 books." The model, visibly thrown off, hesitated, muttering about how she'd read Game of Thrones, not realizing the actual book title is A Song of Ice and Fire. Matan didn't miss a beat, cutting in with a smirk, as if he'd already won the round. The whole exchange was like a test he'd set up just to watch them stumble.
15. What do you know?
you know how to read.
Yes, I do know how to read.
Name 10 books.
Are you serious?
Yes, 100%. Name 10 books.
Well, I read Game of Thrones. I'm obsessed with like the Twilight
book
series.
called?
Game of Thrones, the
Don't have
series.
What's the book called? It's not called Game of Thrones.
Wait, what book did you just say before that?
She's just trying to come up with a bunch of nonsense, and she can't name any actual
Let
books.
her talk, bro.
Bro,
Why
shut
you
up,
fucking
kid.
Taking my spot. What did she say? What did she say?
Why are you taking my spot?
I'm sorry if I.
Twilight.
I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry if I said the wrong thing. I was obsessed with the show Game of Thrones, and I started
Sure, not
reading the
book.
and I.
This challenge opened the door to more back and forth jabs. The models defended their work, arguing that they didn't need his book quiz to justify their choices or intelligence. One even made it clear that she never needed to name 10 books to be successful in her career or to earn a living. But Matan wasn't going to let it go. He pressed on, suggesting that the reluctance to name books just confirmed his view about the moral and intellectual decline he associated with their profession. Bold words from someone whose favorite book is probably C-Spot Run.
Can you let me finish?
Bro, can you shut up
If
you
I
ask
could
a
talk, that'd
question?
be great.
I never read a book. I got a scholarship.
It was I fucked with Junie B. Jones,
Bro,
Dr.
I literally never
Seuss,
read a book in my life, and
the Pigeon books, Fly Guy.
What's the 15-year-old kid? What do you read?
You know, I read all types of books. I read the Talmud, I read the Torah, I read the Bible.
The Talmud.
So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.